Hello, everyone. It's Rockran. Hope you're all having a great day. Uh, I'm happy for everyone who's been subscribing to my channel. I hope I'm providing you with some good entertainment. Uh, it's just weird. Anyhow, any of you ever heard of a band called Metallica? I know they were pretty popular in the 90s, and they kind of fallen out of favor recently, or I'm not sure. But I first heard them around 1986, 85, 86. My buddy Matt had brought over Kill 'Em All. He'd gotten Kill 'Em All on CD, brought over to my house, and we listened to it. And I was very much into 70s prog and the precision, and I don't know. When I heard it, it felt sloppy. Uh, it wasn't Rush. It wasn't Genesis. It's not what I was into at all. But over the next couple weeks, I was like, man, I want to hear more of that. Just kind of like invaded my psyche. And I'd never heard them before. And of course, by this time, they'd had 3 albums out. But my buddy Matt had the first one. And I went down to the store. I was like, you guys got any Metallica albums? And they're like, pfft. And they pointed me in the right direction. And there was Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All. So I bought Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. And let me tell you, for my very young mind, this was something different. Now, I wasn't their biggest fan. I would never say that. I was very much into Anthrax in my high school years. Anthrax, they read comic books, and I read comic books, and you could tell they read the novels that I liked, and there was something about them. And they're from New York, so they got a different kind of sound, and I don't know. I was very much into Anthrax in high school, but Metallica had all those melodic bits that I was like, how do they do this? How do they go from like real fast to melodic and back? And there's a lot of great music in the first 4 Metallica albums. After the third one, tragic death of Cliff Burton, and the bass player from another favorite band of mine, Flotsam and Jetsam, who I've been with like my entire life. I bought all their albums. I love that band, but their bass player, lead songwriter, and lyricist left the band to join Metallica, where he was relegated to just playing bass. And I feel bad for him because he was a songwriter, a lyricist, and a great bass player. And of course, you listen to the 598 EP, and his bass comes through like it's so awesome, right? And he felt like, okay, cool, I'm a real member of the band. And then And Justice for All comes out, and you can't hear him playing at all. It's so low in the mix. But that album is so amazing because they're so angry. Their buddy died, and he was like basically the heart and soul of the band. Cliff was. And, he died, and you don't find bass players like him in a trash heap, and Jason's an awesome bass player, but, they never gave him a chance to do anything in that band, especially then. So, that album comes out, and this is when they released their very first music video. They said they never would, go on the radio for interviews, and I know we're never going to make a music video. But they signed with Elektra Records, and Elektra Records was like, hey, just make one music video. It's part of your contract. So they did, and they made the music video for one. And it's a heartbreaker, really. The song is, about a kid that goes off to war, and he gets blown the fuck up, but he's still alive, but he's got no arms and legs and voice, and I doubt he's got any junk left. And all he wants to do is die, and they won't let him. like they find out that his head movements are Morse code for like help me, and they won't, and so he says kill me, and they won't. It's a really amazing video. Jamel, aka Jamal, recently reacted to it, and he's like, "Is this their official music video?" Well, yeah, yeah, that's the official music video. Then something strange happened. Jealousy happened. The guys in Metallica were so sick of seeing Motley Crue and Bon Jovi and all these bands like outsell them, even though the music that Metallica was making was fucking amazing. It's not bubblegum pop, it's not bubblegum metal, it's not girls, it's not, living on a prayer. Those aren't the songs that they're writing. They're writing things that really matter. They're writing about stuff that actually matters, but nobody cared, right? Poison was outselling them. Everyone was outselling Metallica. And, it's jealousy. It's straight up jealousy. If they hadn't felt that, Fleming Rasmussen and them could have made another fucking awesome album like And Justice for All. But instead, they found Motley Crue's producer, Bob Rock, and said, get your ass over here and make a record with us. And for me, it's their worst record. But for the world, it's probably their best. Because they just threw away everything they were before. Just threw it all out the door. Everything they were before. Just threw it away. We want to be bigger than Motley Crue. And Bob Rock delivered. I'm not going to say he didn't deliver. So check that out. Delivery. Yeah. Bob Rock delivered for everyone in America to love Metallica. And when they said they were never going to make a music video, I think they made 5 or 6 for the Black Album. And complete and utterly sold out to me. Just complete and utterly sold out. And it took a long time for me to forgive them. I mean, I don't think I've ever forgiven them. I mean, they were something awesome. And then they turned into something like everyone else. Now, the voices and the guitar playing and stuff are different, obviously. But it's a complete and utter rejection of who they were before. Now, when they go on tour, they play all those old songs, and they play them well. But I had to watch, just the other day, it's the band currently with, what's his name? Shit, I like him. Rob Trujillo, the bass player. And they're all in their own room, and they're doing blackened acoustic. And that's a violation of everything to me. Yeah, that's just awful. And of course they did that symphonic album with Michael Kamen. Fuck that shit. Ugh. I loved Metallica, and they turned into this fucking mainstream, just complete and utter sellout band. And I'll admit I was locked up just for a stupid little thing, like I didn't pay a fine or something. But I'm in jail, and we're watching MTV, and Kurt Loder's on. He's talking to the guys in Metallica, and I was like, oh boy, what are they gonna do now? And they're talking about Saint Anger, how they like reinvigorated, and they're talking about how, like, back in the day we used to write these long songs that had a lot of different changes and stuff. We're doing that on this album. I was like, cool, I can't wait. Got out of jail, bought that album right away, and the songs were longer. They were so boring. There was no dynamism, nothing dynamic about them. Like, that's the thing that I missed from the Black Album through Reload. Nothing dynamic about their songwriting the way it was before. Like, listen to Master of Puppets. There's so many changes. It's so awesome. But, I'm just saying, like, Saint Anger is a total turd. And then, as memory serves, they got into bed with Lou Reed of the Velvet Underground. and released an album called Lulu. Now, I have never listened to it. I won't. I've never had any respect for Lou Reed. I mean, and the Colored Girls say, ooh, whatever that song is. Take a walk on the wild side. That's okay. Look at that guy. He's taking a walk on the wild side, isn't he? Anyhow, years pass after Lulu. I'm working at Walmart. And I'm on my way to the register to buy like some popcorn chicken or something. Just something small for lunch. I'm on my way to the comic book store to go get my comic books, and there's Death Magnetic. I'm like, oh, a new Metallica album. I look on the back, it says produced by Rick Rubin. And I'm like, oh, well, this might be something. And so I get in my car, I pop the CD in. I drive from, Walmart to Prescott Valley to go get my comic books and some lunch or something. And, wow. Return to form. Not perfect. It's not a perfect album. It's not Master of Puppets Part 2. It's not that. But what it is, to me, it's like Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, and the Load and Reload albums and all that bullshit that they did, all put together. So it's got the songs that'll appeal to the masses, right? But it also appealed to the hardcore old fan like me, like the fan that loved them. And it's got like the Judas Kiss, like such a fucking fast song, and it's it's about stuff. It's not just stupidity like all the other stuff they did, throughout the 90s. It's something different, and I don't know, there's so many good songs on there. It just felt like a renewal. And they had a new bass player in Rob Trujillo, and I thought he brought some energy to the band. I guess he was on Saint Anger, but that album just sounds terrible. Anyways, Death Magnetic, amazing, lyrically, musically. Like, I know a lot of people hate Lars drumming. They say he's a fraud or something. And we watch him live, he hardly tries anymore. It really disappoints me because, I don't know, I don't want to get into it, but he used to play his ride cymbal a lot. But you see him live, he's got a China boy where his ride cymbal was, and it just goes. I don't know if that's something he did Saint Anger or what. I don't know what happened to him. But he used to be a rad drummer, I think. Especially, around And Justice for All. Like, some of his rhythms on there are so amazing. But, through the 90s, he just kind of slowed it down, kind of just chilled, and, I don't know. Black, Load, Reload, Saint Anger, those aren't albums for me. Death Magnetic, on the other hand, just really reinvigorated my enjoyment of the band. And, I have people in my car, and they're like, what are we going to listen to? I'm like, check this out. It's the newest Metallica album. They're like, oh, fuck them. I'm like, I understand. I would feel the same way, but listen to this. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Where did this band come from? I'm like, this is the band from the 80s, mixed with the band from the 90s, and now it's, Rick Rubin just told them to embrace who they used to be. Don't give up on their awesome shit they used to do. And that's basically how the new album, or that album, went. And I don't know who Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I mean, it's been so long since Death Magnetic. That was like 2010 or so. Hardwired is 2017. Like, a long time. 2018, 2017, 2018. Now, I understand, like, James has been going through a lot of shit. He traded one addiction for another. Because if you look at him in the 80s, not a tattoo on his body. In the 90s, too. He's just a total alcoholic. When he quit alcohol, he found a new addiction. Tattoos. His whole body is tattooed now. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but he traded one addiction for another. And when the joy of the one wore out, he's back in rehab. And I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's a very talented dude. He wrote some amazing lyrics over the course of his career, and he's one of the best, like, rhythm guitar players. I mean, I'd put Malcolm Young ahead of him. I'm not a bigger AC/DC fan, but Malcolm Young is the heart and soul of AC/DC. You know, while Angus is off goofing off, he's holding it down. He's the reason you like AC/DC. If you like AC/DC songs, it's because of Malcolm Young. R.I.P. And, you know, if James were to pass away, it would be awful. I'd feel awful. But, you know, he's trying to get the help he needs. But anyways, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now, I don't know how they released this album. It was on, like, vinyl, like double gatefold vinyl, and 180 grain, so they can only fit like 3 songs per side, so it had to be a double album. I don't know, it's weird. I got it digitally, like I get almost all my music these days. And I don't know, there's some good stuff on there. There's Spit Out the Bone. Fucking A, that's a classic. That is Metallica classic. Hardwired, that's awesome song, you know. I couldn't speak to the whole album. I've only listened to it a few times because, you know, it's not enough hours in the day to spend with a band you don't like that much. And I don't have anyone to talk to about it. You know, if I had friends, like, we could listen to it together and talk to about it, I would probably get a lot more listens to it. But I don't, so, you know. Anyhow, after that, you know, that's when they did the symphonic tour, or not a tour, just a show again. And my buddy on YouTube, Ruben Buj, I don't know how to say his name, Buyjs. He's honestly a friend of mine. We talk on Facebook all the time. He's got a YouTube channel. I share his videos every once in a while. You know, if it's something I think people on Facebook would like, you know, my Facebook friends, I think if they would like this song, I would share that with them. But, you know, it's mostly extreme heavy metal, because that's what his channel's about. But he's done Pink Floyd. Like, recently he did Echoes live at Gdansk, you know? And it's so awesome. Like, Echoes is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs. So, anyhow, this guy has seen Metallica 11 times, and he's all about it, right? And he did a review of their symphonic show that he went to, and I was like, well, I'm glad you enjoy it, but I think it's utter fucking crap. I can't stand it. Because it's not Metallica anymore. It's just sellout bullshit to me. Anyhow, James is out of rehab. He looks great. The rest of the guys look great. I don't want to see any more acoustic performances by Metallica, because that just breaks my heart. They were one of the greatest metal bands ever until they weren't. Flots till death.